You're 22. You mass applied to 347 companies your last semester. You heard back from 19. You got 4 first rounds. You bombed 2 of them. One was a binary tree problem you'd literally solved the night before, but your mind went blank when the interviewer turned on their camera. You get 1 offer, 105K base, 15K signing bonus, RSUs that vest over 4 years that your dad keeps calling stock options no matter how many times you correct him. The company is mid, not FAANG, not a startup. Series D, 1 to 1,500 employees you'd never heard of until you saw the Glassdoor posting. Day 1, they hand you a MacBook Pro, a Notion page titled Onboarding, and a Slack channel with 1,400 unread messages. Your manager's 27. She seems impossibly senior. Your first PR gets 43 comments. You thought it was good. You spend 3 weeks on what you later learn was a starter task. You eat lunch alone at your desk. You don't know what half the acronyms in stand-up mean. You nod anyway. You're 25. You jumped companies after 18 months because someone on Blind said that's the optimal tenure for maximizing comp growth. They were right. 105K to 158K. New company, new laptop, same Notion page titled Onboarding. But this time, something's different. You understand the code. Not all of it, but enough. You read a pull request and you can feel when something's off before you can articulate why. You own a service now. It handles email preferences. It's not important, but your name is in the code owner's file, and that does something to your brain. You get paged at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday because a Kafka consumer fell behind by 4 million messages. You fix it from bed in your boxers, half asleep, using your phone as a hotspot because your apartment Wi-Fi is down. Nobody thanks you. The metric just goes green again. Your friends from college who went into consulting make more money and work fewer hours. You try not to think about this. You're 28. Total comp crosses 240K. You couldn't solve a LeetCode code medium right now if someone put a gun to your head, and you're fine with that. You spend maybe 40% of your time writing code. The rest is architecture docs nobody reads, Slack threads that should have been meetings, and meetings that should have been Slack threads. You review more code than you write. You have opinions about naming conventions that you know are irrational, but you will die on this hill. You mentor 2 juniors. One of them is good. The other keeps pushing directly to main, and you've explained branch protection 4 times. You suggest rewriting the payment service in Rust. Everyone nods. Nobody approves the project. 6 months later, someone rewrites it in Go and ships in 3 weeks. You learn something from this, but you won't be able to name it for another 2 years. You get promoted on the 3rd cycle. The first 2 times, your manager said you needed more visibility. You still don't know what that means. You're 32. Total comp is 370K. The RSUs actually mean something now. You check the stock price every morning at 6:45 before your feet hit the floor. You don't write code every day anymore. Some weeks, you don't write any at all. This bothers you more than it should. Your calendar has 6 hours of meetings on a typical Tuesday. You own the technical vision for a platform that 14 teams depend on. When it goes down, you don't get a page, you get a call. You wrote the post-mortem template that everyone uses now. Your title confuses your parents. Your mom still tells her friends you work with computers. You max out your 401k. You backdoor your Roth IRA. You have a spreadsheet that projects your net worth at age 45, and you open it every Sunday. Your best friend from your first job just became a VP of engineering at a 50-person startup. He makes less than you, but he seems happier. You don't interrogate this feeling. You're 37. Total comp is somewhere between 450 and 600K depending on how the stock is doing, and you stopped calculating the exact number because it fluctuates by 30K on a random Tuesday. You wrote the RFC that killed a project 40 people had worked on for 8 months. It was the right call. 2 of those people left. 1 won't connect with you on LinkedIn. You think about this sometimes. At night, when it's quiet, you gave a conference keynote once. 2,000 people watched you explain event-driven architecture for 45 minutes. You have 11,000 followers from that talk and a thread about database indexing that went viral at 1 a.m. You haven't updated your resume since 2024. You mentor staff engineers now. You tell them your job is to make the organization better, not to be the smartest person in the room. You mean it. You realize one day that the junior who just joined your team was born the year you mass applied to those 347 companies. You close your laptop at 5:30. You used to close it at 11. The code is still there in the morning. It always is.